Welcome to Experience Means Business, a podcast by Adobe Professional Services.
Hello and welcome to our latest episode on our Experience Means Business podcast channel. My name is Elliot Weiner. I'm with Adobe Professional Services, and we're really excited to speak with you here today about our generative AI capabilities. I'm very pleased to welcome Evangeline Mao, who is one of our lead generative AI product specialists. And we're going to discuss a little bit around how we get started and how we ensure success for our customers that we're working with in their journey as they start down this generative AI path. There's so much going on and it's changing so rapidly. So we're really excited to see and understand those tips and tricks that you can implement in your organizations. Evangeline, give us a little description on what you're doing and how you're having customers become really successful in how they start their journey around generative AI.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Elliot, for having me here. I'm Evangeline Mao. I work on the product side of things with our America Professional Services team, and I'm here to get you started on your Gen AI journey, the future of intelligence, unlocking the power of creativity. Daily, I'm working hand to hand with a lot of our customers and starting them off in their Gen AI journey. So I might just talk through a few of the boxes that we sort of check before we get them started and those initial conversations that we have to set them up for success. I like to think of it as we have three main milestones. So the first one is really setting expectations. And that is around demystifying the products that we have, the capabilities, what that could do for the customer, and all the awesome things that could come out of that conversation include a lot of use cases that we can unlock for them. That leads us to milestone number 2, use cases. This is a huge part of what we do during kickoff conversations. We tend to hold an entire use case workshop around pain points, current processes, workflows, things that customers want to change, want to automate, and a lot of the things that they want to look for in the future when it comes to Gen AI for their organization. And through that discussion, we then map out a lot of use cases that they want to unlock. We tend to bucket those into what is feasible right now, what is not feasible, are there things that we can prioritize for our product roadmap in the future that can help them unlock those use cases as well. So there's a whole discussion around that. And then the third thing is we do a proof point. So this is a minimal viable piece of proof that shows the customer the value of what our technology can do. And from there, the customer signs off on this proof point and we move on to a POC. So we never, ever, ever skip the proof point. And this is the one thing that we always come back to, regardless of where we are in the conversation.
Wonderful outline. Oh, thank you so much for that. And so diving in a little bit on each of those points, talk to us about where you begin the conversation, right? Is it identifying business challenges? Is it understanding kind of the technical feasibility? What do we do in terms of setting our customers up for success as they start down this path in the endeavor to eventually get that proof point up and running?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of the times when customers come to us first thing, they want to understand what our technology can actually do. So before we actually dive into the customer use cases and what pain points they're seeing, we tend to give an overview of our capabilities so they understand a bit better what they're working with. And we like to demystify and simplify our technology and our capabilities to really, really, really simple terms so they can really, really get a grasp of the whole suite of products that we can offer, not just Firefly or not just Brand DNA. We're looking at the whole suite across Adobe. So we usually do demystification, and then we like to talk through their pain points. So ideally, any of the use cases, any of the proof points that we build are solving for these pain points. whether it be workflows being too manual, whether it be workflows being too expensive, whether it be trying to make headcount more productive or efficient, or ideate, help customers create, inspire. All these things we try and understand upfront. And then we would try to map these capabilities that we have and the technologies that we have to these pain points. So that's how we tend to get them started. By the end of those kickoff workshops, we tend to have a draft sort of outline of what we've selected as a proof point and what we will work on next. But that is all subject to change. And usually after the customer sees the proof point, they might change their mind. They might love what we're doing and they want to continue down that path even further. So we always have continuous feedback loops as well.
Wonderful. Yes, I can imagine there's a lot shifting both in the technology space, but also in the customer expectations of what that technology can provide them. And we know that it's not just around the technology, right? So at Adobe Professional Services, we're helping from a people and process optimization standpoint as well. Can you speak a little bit to that?
So from a people perspective, a lot of the times we like to work directly with the creatives. And one of the biggest things that they always ask for is, how can Gen AI help us? How can it help us solve a lot of the pain points that our people are facing? So, for example, it could be processes are really manual. They could be taking 10 hours to cut out a photo from a certain background, and now they want to automate this. It could be they have all these people on their team and they want to make the processes more efficient, or they want to drive productivity. It could be we have a lot of creatives that have been in that team for 10, 20, 30 years, and now they're stuck and they need ideas. They want to ideate, they want inspiration, they want to create something new and exciting. So from a people perspective, we're really seeing Gen AI change the way that people work and the way that people create and the way that people interact with each other, even within an organization.
Wonderful. I can imagine unlocking some of that value for those creative teams can have a huge effect, not only on that team or that individual, but the entire organization. So can you speak a little bit about how we start to evangelize the use cases and the adoption of the technology and the new processes throughout enterprise organizations?
So I really love talking about use cases. I feel like it's something that we carry from every conversation and we always learn something new. From the very beginning, we always had this vision of creating a central repository for all our Gen AI use cases. And this is something we really kicked off recently, now that we've spoken to so many customers. And we really like to document all of their pain points and all of the use cases they've talked through, whether it be viable or non-viable. We like to absolutely document everything, make it pretty, make it sound great. We have it in our repository. And then over time, as we collect these use cases, we're able to identify trends or different insights or things that we could use to inform our product roadmap. And this has been really helpful over time because when we talk to new customers, we're able to speak on similar pain points that other people in the industry might be experiencing. Or we're able to talk to use cases that we've come up with solutions for in the past, and we're able to repurpose for their current pain point. And customers have found this really helpful because they're able to see real life examples of what is being done within their same industry or what has been done in the past with the same capabilities that they're looking for. And so use cases have been extremely, extremely helpful for us to drive those conversations forward. And I absolutely really believe that this is a crucial conversation to have before we kick off any customer engagement.
Totally agree with that. And I think you brought up a great point there around building up our repository of use cases by industry, by business challenge, by need, and leveraging that information as we go and expand the technology capabilities and expand the types of customers and the types of use cases that we can potentially implement and solve for them. So that is a wonderful call out for our amazing Adobe Professional Services consultants who are doing all that work on the front line. So there's a lot happening in kind of the larger industry around Gen AI technologies coming online. different things that we're doing here at Adobe, if you could look into a crystal ball and just see maybe 6 to 12 months out, what are some predictions or some trends that you're seeing and projecting?
Okay, so the number one thing that I'm seeing from customers, and it is absolutely in every single conversation, I would say 90% plus of the time, it would be brand guidelines. That's the key word for us all the time. Customers want brand specific content in whatever they do. And if they're creating models or pictures and assets and videos, they want it to be on brand. If it's assembling content for a campaign, they want the content to be on brand. They want the entire campaign to be on brand. All of the materials that we're creating, we're really looking to have the feel, the aesthetic, the style, the tone of what the customer and their company stands for. So it is really important that we look into these brand specific attributes when we're creating all these outcomes for our customers. Because that is the way that Gen AI is moving towards, or technology is moving towards.
Excellent. I love that. And I love that look into the future based on what we're hearing right now from the customer conversations you're engaged with. Well, that does it for our episode here today. Evangeline, I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your unique perspective as you're working so closely with our technology and our customers. And thank everyone in the audience for listening or tuning in. Be sure to tune in for our next episode coming shortly around Gen AI and how we start to understand the value associated with these different use cases that you just heard about here today. So for now, my name is Elliot Weiner, Adobe Professional Services, signing off. Have a great day.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let us know what you think by writing to us at infoacs@adobe.com. See you later for more.